Hello, this is Liam, the author of the Babe Ruth Bucket, Truths and Myths of Tax-Free Retirement. Welcome to our podcast today. Today we're going to, and a lot of people say, what's the name of your podcast? It's the Babe Ruth Bucket Podcast. There you go. You can call us at 866-848-7688 for some consulting, or you can email us at liamgroup@gmail.com. And we also have a website, Legacy Consultants, tax-free, it's LCI, taxfreeretirement.com. LCI, taxfreeretirement.com. Great videos on there. The podcasts are on there. Some question and answer opportunities as well. Today we're going to talk about adding your stepchildren to your estate plan. Now, people ask me all the time, I've got 5 kids of my own, and then I've got 4 stepchildren. And somebody asked me one time, what's the difference between a stepchild and a regular child? Well, I will tell you this, they both treat you like crap. Ain't that right, Matt? No, I'm just teasing. But I tease about that, but I tell people they treat you the same. They treat you the same as if they were your own or they weren't your own, and that's the God's truth. Sometimes I tell people I got 9 kids and 2 of them are great. I just don't know which 2 that's going to be. But no, I love all my kids. I think they're wonderful, but they're no different than whether or not you like. I love that song that's out with a country singer where he said, "I've never seen your first steps, but I've never missed one of your ball games." You know what I mean? I don't know what that song is. Matt, maybe you can play that during my off time. But that's a good song about kids that are stepchildren, because they're not yours per se. You didn't necessarily make them, but you do take care of them. And I think that the best way that I can tell you is that in our situation, I did the right thing in taking on Angie's kids, and sometimes they love me, sometimes they hate me, but my kids feel the same way, so it works. Let's look at adding stepchildren to an estate plan. Okay, we look ahead to the new year, we think of the goals and priorities of different things that we're working on. Some of the goals are putting an estate together. And I know one of the things I get, and I'll be honest with you, when I first started thinking about this, I'm thinking, okay, they have a father, right? And he's got a good relationship with them. I have children, right? They have a mother, right? And then I have Angie and me, and I thought to myself, well, do I, and again, this is just me telling you the honest truth, why should I, provide for my stepchildren? That's a good question, because Angie's got a nice set up policy. You've got a tax-free retirement plan. She's got all her money goes to her children. All my money goes to my children. And then their father, right? His responsibility, take care of them. Yes, okay. So I asked myself, well, why should I take care of them? And then I thought to myself, there isn't a question to me, because I love them as if they were my own children. And so I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to leave them something. I'm going to make sure that everybody, has a little bit left. And I'll be honest with you, my kids were not raised to wait around and rub their hands together and wait till Dad dies. What are we going to get from Dad, right? Because I put caveats in the will. If I die mysteriously, Matt, nobody gets anything. That's right. That's right. If it's a trick, if somebody puts me in a river or something, I got to set them up my trust to hold on until they find out what really happened. But no. I joke a little bit about this situation, but it's a serious situation, because you got to ask yourself, what are the rules applying to them? If I die without anything in play, my biological children, and here's what's going to throw you through a loop, my biological children and adopted children come first before a stepchild. I'll say it one more time. My biological children come first. If I don't have an estate in play, I don't have a will, I don't have a trust, I don't have beneficiary, my biological children come in play first. Then my adopted children, and then my stepchildren. Okay? Now, some people adopt their stepchildren, which solves that problem. Some people don't. I didn't adopt my stepchildren because they had a father that loved them and they wanted to be a part of their lives, and that worked out fine for everybody, and our particular issue worked out well. So I never adopted them, okay? And I never made them call me Dad, okay? So, I believe that, they appreciate that, and it is what it is. But the problem is that when stepchildren believe that they're entitled to an inheritance, they're not going to be if they're not specifically named in the will, they're not specifically named as a beneficiary, they're not specifically named in the trust, okay? Now, in my dad's situation, when he passed, he had me and my sister and then my nephew, okay? And so he set up a couple different trusts, okay? And then those trusts were inundated to do different things. And then I foregoed my particular amount of my estate to my 5 kids, okay? And so all of my kids got a piece of my estate, okay, because of what I wanted to do, but he set that up through the way that he did his will and his trust, okay? So I went ahead and did a bypass trust, okay, so my children would receive what I was to receive. Now you might say, why would you do that? Well, I did that because I love my children, and my dad loved his grandchildren, right? And it worked out the way we wanted to do it. I didn't need the money, so I wanted my children to have an opportunity to have their money. Now, if we take a blended family and we're looking at estate planning, okay, the thing that you have to understand is the biggest part of it is understanding that what do both spouses want to do. Now, in our particular case, when I say both spouses, it's me and Angie, right? Their mother. So me and Angie make a decision on how we want to distribute the wealth or the assets that we have. Now we die together, then it goes through two different trusts, my wife's trust and my trust. That way her children and they are taken care of a little bit differently, because I honestly believe that my children are in a different realm of the estate, and then her children are a different realm, just like my children for her, okay, are a different realm, and so are her children. So things are a little bit different, and they're set up that way purposely because that's what we wanted to do. Now you might say, I want everybody to have 50-50 split all the way down the road. Well, then do that, okay? And then people will ask me, say, well, if I'm doing a will, who do I make the executor? Well, I tell people, if you have 2 children or less, make them both the executor. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving attorney advice. I'm consulting. My dad would always say, good advice is never remembered and bad advice is never forgotten. That's the truth, ain't that right, Matt? Yeah, and so what I want to tell you is I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm telling you that if it were me and I had 2 children or less, okay, I would make them both the executor if they're both in good shape. Now, if one of them's got issues, can't keep a job, still lives in the basement, no, they're not going to be executor. Let the one that's responsible. But if they're both responsible, okay, then make them both executors. Here's why. They have to get along to get the estate settled. They don't get along, doesn't get settled. Okay? You might say, well, why don't you just have one of them do it, and who cares about the other one? Well, you're automatically creating a wedge, are you not? Who do you pick? Oh, I picked the oldest because that's what the Bible says. I'm not necessarily sure the Bible says that. Remember the guy that went in for his share of the inheritance, and he put hair on his arms to make his dad think. My mind's not quick enough to tell me who those are, but you guys can send me a letter and tell me who they were. But there were 2 brothers, Esau, I think, and I don't know who the other one was, but one of them tricked the dad. So he got the estate, right? So I'm not so sure that it matters who's first or second. They can figure out a way to buffalo the other person, maybe they'll pull it off. But I think if you make them both the executor, then they have to get along, they have to make things happen, and then it should move a little faster, yes? Because let's say you have one person as the executor, the other one's upset, the other one doesn't like it, the other one's not going to cooperate. That person then does what? They contest the will. What happens next? Everything sits there. Do you realize the John Wayne's estate still hasn't been settled? How long ago did John Wayne die? There's a handful of celebrity estates that still haven't been settled because the kids can't figure it out. But guess who's made all that money in the meantime? Let's go with the attorney. All right. So let's look at if families where both the husband and the wife, again, when we talk about blended, it's simple. It's when you both have children from different families, okay? That's exactly what that is. When you want to protect or do a strategy, okay, you can set it up you can do a step-parent will, a step-parent trust, you can do a family trust, okay? There's some different options on what you can do. You can do a irrevocable life insurance trust, okay, which means once you put that into play, you can't change it. Okay. Now, there's a difference between revocable living trust and irrevocable. That's a simple answer. Irrevocable means you can't change it. Revocable means you can't change it. So if you set one up and you say, I want to have an irrevocable trust and I want child number 1, 2, 3 to be set up this way and it can't be changed, and then I want stepchild 4, 5, and 6 to be set up this way and it can't be changed, there is not going to be any arguments. There's not going to be any kind of disputes, okay, because it's set up through the trust. Now, I will tell you this, there's some terrible, horrible judges that are state, what do they call them, Matt? They do the, what's the court? You know what I'm talking about. Oh, shoot. probate court, right? We have a moron. I wish I could mention his name. Can I mention his name, Matt? The moron up in Greene County. Can I mention his name? Because he is a moron, okay? I mean, I've seen him do some stupid stuff, and I've seen him do stuff where families have come in and he's allowed the kids to take over the estate when the estate said it couldn't happen. So I can't say it won't happen, but there are some moron judges out there that will just not even pay attention to what they're doing and just do it just to be mean and hateful or because they're just stupid. I don't know. But I won't mention Mr. Judge's name. What is his name anyway? He just ran for office too, man. I can't stand the guy, but anyway, it's only because I've seen him work and I've seen some of the decisions that he made. And in fairness, I will get it for you, and I will, because you know me, I shoot everybody straight. I don't really care. I don't sell for a living anymore. I'm a consultant. Okay, I don't carry any licenses anymore. I just give out the facts and the truth, and I will name names, Matt. I will name names. What is his name? I can't think of his name. He just ran for office.
I can't remember.
He got appointed by the Rhino. What's the Rhino? Kasich. That's who appointed him. So you know what kind of idiot this guy is. But anyway, I'm sure most of you know who it is, especially since I said the Greene County judge. But anyway, the reason why I mentioned that is because I've seen attorneys that have come in. Normally they're allowed to charge 1 to 3% on estates, and I've seen them go in and charge way more than that, and somehow they get it approved by the courts. And I wonder how that happens, Matt. I wonder if the attorney and the judge go out and play golf together or anything. I wonder how that happens. How do they get more money than they're supposed to? I don't understand how it works. So make sure you protect yourself by getting the right attorney. And again, if you call us at 866-848-7688 or go to our website at lcitaxfreeretirement.com, we can give you some great advice on who to use, who not to use. We name names. And people, you don't like me, I'm sure they tell you, don't talk to me. But I'm telling you right now that we will give you the right advice. Now let's back on the stepchildren. On the irrevocable trust, why would you put an irrevocable trust in play? Why would you do that? Well, the main thing is because what if things change in your life? What if let's say that you and your current spouse, okay, maybe she wants to protect it if she dies, or maybe, let's say that your spouse that had the stepchildren passes away, okay, and then you pass away later. As long as you have something set up and designed to take care of those stepchildren, it'll be fine. So it won't matter who dies first. And again, the irrevocable is good because in most cases, and again, I used to think that nothing could be changed, but again, I've had dealings with some horrible judges and some really crafty attorneys, and had them do some things that they shouldn't have been able to do. But 99% of the time, if you have it set up correctly, they can't change it. But I never say never anymore, Matt, because I've seen too many things happen over the 30 years we've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have to be careful. But again, if you're going to do your stepchildren in estate planning, make sure you talk to the right people. Make sure that you have people that have gone through it. One of the things that I like is the fact that I've been there, I've done it, and I know that the biggest issue that you may have might be a spouse from the other side. Wanting to chime in, and again, this is where I think we can be adults and let the two that are making the decision for the children should be the only two, as far as I'm concerned. The other one shouldn't be included from the previous marriage. I think it's just going to cause more trouble. I think too that if you understand that the challenges that you're facing here are really simple to solve. They're really easy to fix. You just do name beneficiary, you set up a trust, you set up something in the will, those type of things. I think you'll beat this problem. So I don't think that the adding stepchildren to your estate is that difficult at all, but it can be difficult if you don't do the proper things through the proper channels. So again, thanks for watching our podcast today. This has been the Babe Ruth Bucket Podcast. This is Liam. You can catch me at 866-848-7688.